Good evening, folks. You guys all had a good work week. Right off from a week off from work and straight into a 6-day work week. Ain't that wonderful? And also, it's the first week of December, so get the holiday greeting out of the way. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever other holiday there is that I'm sure I'm unaware of, not out of any real malice, but just out of ignorance. Happy holidays, and if you got a problem with happy holidays, then happy shut up. And I just realized I forgot to turn on my lighting, so give me 1 second. Yeah, if you guys can't tell, I'm a little brain fried right now, and I'm probably about to get a little more brain fried because we're about to dig into another batch of Sonic the Hedgehog spin-offs. So we're entering what I tend to refer to as Sonic's first blank period. And I call it the blank period because this is an odd time in Sonic's history where he just really didn't have anything major coming out. At least in regards to mainline entries. There were lots of Sonic games coming out, but nothing of any real quality or note. For reference, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 came out in '94, and the next mainline entry in the series, which was Sonic Adventure, wouldn't come out until 1999. So that's a 5-year gap between games, which, is an eternity for a series that is as long running as Sonic. So, that's a couple of videos in regards to Sonic. Are going to cover the spin-offs. Tonight, I want to get the Game Gear games out of the way. There's just nothing on that system that I think can entertain you guys for a full hour. And also, the next video, next time we cover Sonic, I'm going to be covering the games that came out during the 32-bit era. So stuff like Sonic R, Sonic the Fighters, Knuckles Chaotix, and Sonic Jam. But tonight we're going to get into the Game Gear games, but before we do that, there's one more Genesis game that we need to cover, and based on the title card, I think you guys can probably guess what it is. For those of you who are new to my channel, essentially how this works is every week I take a video game and I play it for an hour, and as I do, I talk about various design elements from a gameplay and artistic standpoint. What I do not do is play games from start to finish, so if you're expecting a long play, look elsewhere, because one of the things I want to do is encourage people to play the games themselves, because I feel you lose something if you just watch someone else play it. Though, if that's how you like to consume video game media, then by all means, just find a video on YouTube to watch. So, the first game on our list tonight is going to be Sonic 3D Blast. This game was released in 1996, I believe, and that might be head-tilting for some because that was essentially around the time when 16-bit consoles were basically out. The N64 was out, the Sega Saturn was out, and PlayStation was out. But there was a lot of disagreement with Sega as to what the future of the company was. Sega of Japan was ready to go all in on the Saturn, but Sega of America thought it would be foolish to abandon the Genesis because of how successful it was. I'm not sure where they got that idea, considering Nintendo essentially abandoned the NES in favor of the SNES. And that's really how a console transition is supposed to work. A new console gets rolled out, so you start releasing games for that, and you keep supporting the previous console for maybe another year or two, and then you just drop support for it, you just phase it out. That's how all this is supposed to work. So, Sega America had teams making games for the Genesis for a long time, and because of that, they had Sega Technical Institute working on what they wanted to be Sonic 4, but after a while it became very clear that for what they had in mind, which was a 3D Sonic game, the Genesis just wasn't going to cut it. So they moved development to the Sega 32X, which didn't come out, by the way, either. But they had already done a good deal of work on the Genesis version of Sonic 4. So what Sega did was they contracted Traveler's Tales to basically pick up what was left and make a game out of it so they could release something. And that's how you get what we know today as Sonic 3D Blast. This game isn't well liked within the fan base. In fact, there's a lot of people who outright hate it. But I've always had a soft spot for Sonic 3D Blast, mostly because it was just one of the first Sonic games that I ever played. But, you know, it's been a long time since I played this, so why don't we just go ahead and take a look. Do a quick sound check. But, you know, I was experimenting with having some music in the background. Where is it? Here it is. Well, the animation on the Sega logo is certainly slick. Traveler's Tales, mostly known for working cheap and getting a decent amount of quality out. And an FMV for the Genesis is really impressive, but man, the quality of that is crunchy. Pretty good title screen, I would say, though. There's a lot of depth to it, which is good for the title. The graphic design on the font is a little sloppy, though. Flickies are mysterious birds. They live in another dimension, can travel anywhere through large rings. Robotnik learns about the Flickies. I will change the Flickies into robots and have them search for the Chaos Emeralds for me. Using the infinite power of the emeralds, I can conquer the world! Sonic visits Flicky Island to see his friends, but the only thing he finds are robots. Robotnik must have made my friends like this. I must save them. Robotnik must be stopped. Sonic starts to defeat the enemies in order to rescue the Flickies who are trapped inside. Go, Sonic! You can warp through the big greens with the help of the Flickies. Chase after Robotnik and defeat his plans. Do you mean foil his plans? By the way, if that music sounds familiar, that's because it's the same track from Twinkle Park in Sonic Adventure. And that's the same music from Windy Valley in Sonic Adventure. Okay, so one thing we gotta state right off the bat, despite the title, Sonic 3D Blast is not actually a 3D game. What you're looking at here is essentially 2D pre-rendered sprites a la Donkey Kong Country that are drawn in a manner to convey a 3D space. And to be honest, it actually doesn't look half bad. In fact, it looks pretty stellar for the console. Sonic's character model looks great, the backgrounds are really detailed, and with the checkerboard pattern on the floor, you actually do get a nice sense of space. Depth perception is kind of a pain, but, you know, what can you do? I think the shield item is malfunctioning because typically you can see Sonic. That's a little weird. But anyway, what am I doing here? Well, essentially, the goal of Sonic 3D Blast is to explore the levels, find all the enemies, and take them all out. Doing so will free a Flicky, but rather than the Flicky just scurrying off screen like you'd expect them to, they will instead start following Sonic around. And then you have to lead them to a goal ring, and once you do that enough times, you can move on to the next section, or the next level. And already got a special stage here. Essentially get 50 rings and then go find Tails or Knuckles and they'll warp you to one. And this is pretty spectacular by the standards of the Genesis. The Mode 7 graphics are used to amazing effect here. I don't know why they didn't just do this if they wanted to make a 3D Sonic game. Just put the camera behind Sonic and have him run forward. It's still not exactly 3D, but would have been a bit more believable than what we got here. Wonder if this is where they started getting the idea for something like Sonic Adventure. I got a Chaos Emerald. That's pretty cool. As for the controls, they could definitely be better. Like, anytime you have to control a character in a space like this, a D-pad's always going to feel a little funky. But it also doesn't help that, like, Sonic's physics just feel really slippery. As soon as you push down the button, he just kind of rockets forward. Which makes him a little hard to control, and his traction is a little slick too. Attacking enemies can also be a little finicky. Like, anyone's first instinct is to just jump into them. But in some cases it's better to use the spin dash, using the checkerboard pattern on the floor to sort of sight where you're gonna go. It is a little clunky, but I've definitely played worse. There are worse Sonic games than this, believe me. Some people might disagree with me on that, but... You know what they say, opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one. Hey, you gotta be careful with the flickies, because if you take a hit, they'll scatter all over the place and they can be hard to find too. Okay, I can move on to the next part of the level. Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of the general structure of Sonic 3D Blast, and it's primarily because what you're doing here, this is kind of what you're doing for most of the game. Part of what makes Sonic games so much fun to play is just the general movement through the levels. I always equate a good Sonic level to like going on a different roller coaster. Like all the different twists, turns, and unique ways you go up, down, and all around. But you don't really do that here, and the only thing that really changes between levels are the enemies you come across, and just the general theming. And it does get worse and worse as the game goes on, especially in bits where they try to throw platforming in, which with these camera angles is just aggravating. Like with that, I guess you could use Sonic Shadow to figure out where you're going to land, but it's so faint that it's just difficult. Thankfully, the game is mostly exploration-based, so it's not as bad as it could be. It's not great, but it's not terrible. Alright, I'm missing one flicky. Where's that little bugger at? Over here, maybe? Ah! Ah, crap. Come on, guys, saddle up. Well, I made it through the first level. Probably not going to make it much further. Clock's almost timing out for this game. And I apologize, guys. I may have to take a bathroom break. I'm seeming to have an issue, if you know what I mean. In fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Let's see if I can find a video for you guys to watch while I'm gone. Something I ate's just not sitting well with me. How about what's happened while I'm gone? I'll be right back.
Hey honey, wake up! There's a new What Happened about a Sonic game! Again! Hello and welcome to the video series you just clicked on because you saw this mischievous blue ball of childhood nostalgia, youthful attitude, frustration, and untapped potential in the thumbnail. And speaking of which, nothing says wasted potential more than Sonic the Hedgehog's short-lived, almost non-existent career on the Saturn. If you've ever wondered why the Blue Blur never had a mainline entry on Sega's beguiled 32-bit machine, well, oh boy, do I have an episode for you. While I had assumed 06 or Boom were dead-ass the worst examples of Sonic's troubled developmental history, it turned out that neither can compare to the sloppy hot mess that was Sonic X-Treme. So, what happened? The two-tastic rodent was... Wait, is he a rodent? Erinacida? Yeah, I ain't saying that. The rodent was what moved Genesises and or Mega Drives to millions of homes across the globe, so obviously Sega was keen to continue that success. Starting with Sonic 2, however, development on Hedgehog-focused titles happened within the tension-filled walls of California's Sega Technical Institute, which was founded by Mark Cerny, best known as the mastermind behind the internet meme, Knack. Now, even though Sonic 2 is the best Sonic, and no, I won't be taking questions, the development of that game didn't go flawlessly, as it was co-developed by both Sega of America and Japan. There was...
I apologize for that, folks. I'm really embarrassed that happens. By the way, Matt McMuscles does really good videos on just everything. So if you're looking for a good video to watch after the stream, be sure to check out his stuff. Especially his Sonic X-Treme video. He'll sort of explain in more detail something I'm going to be talking about next time we look at Sonic. But anyway, Sonic 3D Blast, it's okay. I think for what Traveler's Tales probably had to work with, they probably did the best that they could. But, I mean, it's just never going to be as good as the original games. The fast pace of the side-scrolling games is just something you're not going to be matched with this 3D technology that they got going on here. Or 3D, but you can do worse, so if you're a fan of Sonic, it might be worth a playthrough. Anyway, let's get into the main meat of the video, which is going to be the Game Gear games. And boy, do I got a lot to talk about here. I got six video games that I need to get through here, so this is going to be quite the undertaking. Hopefully I don't have any more bowel issues. But to be honest, I've done several of these streams now, and only this is the first time I've ever had to take a break during the stream to go to the bathroom. I guess that does say something, doesn't it? Alright, so what's first? I think it's Sonic Triple Trouble. Don't really know a whole lot about this game on the developmental side, outside of the fact that it's essentially the Game Gear version of Sonic 3. Anyway, 10 minutes on the clock. Let's see what we got. I got Chaos Emeralds. I counted 5, I think. And Knuckles stole them. I guess he's taking a break from Angel Island for some reason. Of course, we got Eggman, who had the weird jetpack thing. What was up with that? That would be a pretty good title screen if it wasn't for the fact that Knuckles is there. It kind of ruins it. Ah, sorry. So, Triple Trouble is sort of a sequel to Sonic Chaos, so you have the option to play as either Tails or Sonic. We're going to be looking at Tails' spinoff, so I'm going to be Sonic. Great turquoise, or is that tortoise? Well, this actually does look pretty promising. For the Game Gear, these are actually some pretty impressive graphics. That power-up didn't last long, though. Still dealing with a bad case of screen crunch, though. That's not good. And that was annoying. Control feels just a little sluggish. Having a hard time reacting to stuff, too. And I think that was a checkpoint. Guess they have that instead of the Cinder Start post. Now I'm underwater. Am I just reacting to the level design right now? That's something else that's lame. It stops you before you hit the post here. I don't like that. It was always fun in the Genesis games when you would just blast past it and then run off screen. It was just a good indicator that you had finished the level. All the palm trees have springs in them for some reason. Not sure what's up with that. So far, this isn't terrible, all things considered. Okay, what's happening there? Fine, I'll just spin dash into it. I definitely have my issues with it, but I played worse. This is part of why I want to just get the Game Gear games out of the way, because I really just don't have much to say about them. Like, there's just nothing here that really impresses in regards to Sonic gameplay. Graphically, for the Game Gear, it's impressive. But really, it just kind of makes me want to play the Genesis games again. I've always found that really weird. Like, why is it that the Game Gear games stuck so close to the 3-act structure as opposed to the 2 acts like Sonic 2 and 3 did? Got our first boss, which is a flying turtle. Anyone else thinking of Gamera? That's something else I'm excited about. Godzilla -1 came out this week. Ah, come on! So one thing I want to comment on with this boss fight is that its design is a little counterintuitive. Typically when you bounce off a spring, Sonic doesn't roll into a ball, and that's something you've always had to consider. But here, if you bounce off a spring, but then hit the jump button again, Sonic will roll into a ball. But most Sonic fans aren't going to think to do that, and because that, it's real easy to fly into that boss right away. Just kind of goes against what you typically would know about a Sonic game. Like, again, I hit the button, but I didn't roll into a ball. Let's try this again. Gonna make turtle soup out of you. Why am I having such a hard time rolling into a ball when I hit that spring? Oh, there are some rings. Nah, screw it. Alright, I'm gonna get you this time. Again! Why did you unroll? I don't know why I'm having such a hard time with this. Not a big fan of this first boss fight. Die! I'm gonna get you this time. You got lucky. Okay, so it's not a triple trouble. First impressions aren't very good, but I have played this game before, and I will say it does get better after this initial level. This first boss fight is just horribly designed, but like it does encourage exploration, so there's replay value. This is actually the first appearance of Knack the Weasel. I think if you get all the Chaos Emeralds, you get a secondary boss fight with him. And like, as far as Genesis games goes, it probably comes the closest to replicating the Genesis games on the Game Gear. But it's still, at the end of the day, just another watered-down 2D Sonic game, which is basically what I feel Sonic's legacy on the Game Gear is. Alright, let's move on to the next game. Which is, oh man, Sonic Drift. Honestly, this one kind of perplexes me. The reason Sonic Drift was never released stateside was because, you know, it didn't do well in Japan, not critically, and it wasn't a financial success either. So then, why would you make a sequel to it? I guess if you wanted to make a Genesis game with that concept, you could get something good out of that, but why try again on the Game Gear? But unlike the first game, which stayed in Japan until it was released as part of Sonic Mega Collection Plus, I think, Sonic Drift 2 actually did get released here in the States. Is it because it's good? Better? Let's find out. What, no Sega? Alright. Definitely not a big fan of that title screen though, mostly due to the background. Just, that with Sonic just doesn't look too good. Dadgummit. There we go. Well, they do give you a better selection of racers this time. In addition to Sonic, Tails, Amy, and Eggman, you also got Metal Sonic, Knack the Weasel, or Fang the Sniper, I guess, and Knuckles. So, definitely have more characters to play as this time. Though I think they could have added Egg Robo in there to give it a nice even 8. Since we didn't get to see Knack in the previous game, I'm going to go ahead and beat him. I guess it selects your rivals at random. Emerald Hill. Just occurred to me I didn't set my timer. Damn it. Well, this does not inspire confidence. By the looks of it, it's just the same crappy racing game that the first game was. The one new feature it does add is special abilities. That's what the rings are for. You get enough rings, and you can use a special weapon. In Nat's case, he can shoot bombs ahead. It's sort of hard to aim. And I'm still having a hard time staying on the track like in the first game. Keep getting Tails though. Arrgh. Stay on the track, Nat, for crying out loud. Final lap. See, like, I feel like I took that turn perfectly. I was on the inside, and before I even saw the turn signals. Come on. Urgh. Ah man, third place. Can't believe I lost to Tails. I know I keep calling him Knack instead of Fang, but that's just what I'm used to. That's what they called him in the Archie comic books, which is what I mostly know the character from. That texture on the track is pretty cool, though. Yeah, this is a sprint. That's kind of neat. Okay, I got myself. There's one thing that I find a little annoying. In order to use your special item, you actually have to push up on the D-pad. Which, I don't think anyone would guess that. You'd think it would just be the A button. At least 2 rings to use their special attack. Okay, what happened there? What's going on with Sonic back there? He's not keeping up at all. And Tails stole that victory from me. Certainly a lot harder than the first Sonic Drift. And Tails is really happy. You know what? Good on you, little bud. Dark Valley. Oh, boy. Oh, come on. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. There's a bottomless pit? This isn't gonna end well. I was anticipating a turn there. And there it is. I don't know who thought that was a bad idea in a game where it's very hard to stay on the track. And I don't know why, but it feels like something is pulling me to the side for some reason. Is there like wind in this level? Is that it? Ah, got myself. Sweet Silent Life, son. Oh my friggin' goodness. Who thought this was a good idea? Honestly. I can barely stay on the track here. No, I can't, not even barely, I can't stay on the track. Now I'm ready for this race to end. Well, at least I came in ahead of Tails. Is it just me or did Knuckles look pink there? Yeah, he's still in first place and I dropped a few places. Casino Night. Have a cool background, though. You ever see One Piece Film Gold? Remember the scene where Luffy, Chopper, and Usopp do a car race? That's a good movie. That's something I discovered recently today. Turns out that One Piece has finally overtaken Batman. It is now the second best-selling comic book of all time. What a time to be alive, isn't it? Wonder if it'll overtake Superman by the time the series ends. Come on, Knack, stay on the track. Oh, thank Lifeson. Okay, so Sonic Drift. Sonic Drift 2. At its core, it's still the same bland game that the first Sonic Drift was, though they've just added a bunch of crap to it. Like, the special items, they're more hindrance than anything, and I guess unbalanced too. If you're Sonic, I think it would be very easy to stay ahead of the game. And then you got crap like bombless pits and the like, and it's just not good. I'd honestly say this is worse than the first game. The first game was basic, but at least it was simple. Yeah, if you want a Sonic racing game, again, Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing or Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing Transform. I even recommend Team Sonic Racing over this game. Alright, what do we got next? Oh, it's time for some Tails spin-offs, okay. Tails Sky Patrol. This is another one of those games that was only released in Japan, never in America, until, they started releasing it on collections during the GameCube era. I can't tell you why, though. I can't find any reason as to why. Maybe it was just too different? Let's see. Let's play. Okay, so the plot of this game is that Tails is out exploring and he comes across the island of Madame Witchcart, who has put a spell on the island so that anyone who sets foot on it turns to crystal. So Tails has to stop her from doing something, though I'm not exactly sure what. You know what would have been cool? Is if the villain in this game was Etsis Nagus. Wouldn't that be neat? So, Tails Sky Patrol is essentially I guess you could call it a shmup. It's basically a 2D flying game where you just take control of Tails and have to guide him through a level. Tails can't fly forever though, so you gotta be sure to keep his stamina gauge filled, which you refill by getting mint candy, which canonically is Tails' favorite food. You'd think hanging out with Sonic all day, his favorite food would be chili dogs. No, I actually don't mind this so far. It's got a frantic enough pace to it. Taking out stuff at the ring is fun. A lot of stuff Tails can interact with too, so yeah, so far this isn't bad at all. I think it does make good use of Tails' abilities. From what I did find in my research, this was originally supposed to be a game independent of the Sonic series, but Sega requested that they turn it into a Tails game to give it a little more marquee value. What are these things? Did I finish? Yeah, that's the end of the level. Yeah, this is actually kind of fun. And again, I forgot to start my timer. Easy. Whew. Want to do that. Yeah, if you take a hit, Tails doesn't necessarily die. Ran out of stamina, I think. Wasn't paying attention there. That got busy. Stupid turtles throwing your crap at me. You're gonna go high. Bollocks. I just noticed. It's called Rail Canyon, isn't it? Okay, we're gonna go low next time. Or maybe I should try to get that one up. Not sure what happened there. It's really a difficult game. I bumped into that thing and I died as a result. Yep. There's some mint candy. What's going on there? Go high, Tails. Okay, just gonna zoom through it. Hey, I made it. Oh, that was tight. Oh! That's doing good there. What? Made it through last time. Climb, Tails! Climb! As long as I keep getting that one up, I can try that as much as I want. I tried to wait for it to go, but it just stopped. There we go. Not my best showing tonight, that's for sure. Ah, there's some mint candy there I should have grabbed. Oh, so that's what that was. Oh! Oh, no, no, no! Ah. There's a degree of trial and error with this. I am having fun with it, though, to be honest. It does have a fast pace to it. All the stuff Tails can interact with is kind of fun, too. Okay, I walked into that one. Okay, I swear I hit the attack button. That music is starting to get on my nerves, though. Ah, not falling for it this time. Okay. So, Tails Sky Patrol, it's actually a fun little game. It's really hard, and yeah, if you don't like trial and error gameplay, you're probably not going to like this, but yeah, I've definitely played worse than this. This is probably one of the better Game Gear games that I've played so far. I dare say it would be better on the Genesis or maybe the Master System with a bigger screen so you could see further ahead. But yeah, not bad at all. Thumbs up. And if we're playing this game, that probably means the next game is Tails Adventures, if I'm not mistaken, or Tails Adventure. Okay, there it is. Tails' house. Looks more like an island. Yeah, I got some flickies around too. Is this Flicky Island? Is that what this is? Oh no. Bad guys. And now everything's on fire, so it's freaky! And now we're under attack by Donald Duck? Okay, it says Tails Adventures, but it's just Tails Adventure. Also really hate this title screen, mostly because the 3D effect on the font just makes the A and S disappear. Yeah, not very good. Dadgummit. What does that say? Polyforest? Okay, so one thing you gotta state right up front with Tails Adventure is that, unlike every other game we've talked about, or, well, not every other game. We played a bunch of different games tonight. What I'm trying to say is, this isn't going to be a standard Sonic game. Instead of a 2D side-scrolling momentum-based platformer, Tails Adventures is more of a 2D adventure game. A lot of people liken it more to a Metroidvania game. So, in addition to platforming, there's a degree of exploration to it too. So, you kind of have to find your way through the levels. And you see here, Tails' primary form of attack are bombs, which might seem a little strange for the little dude. But over the course of the game, Tails will gain access to all kinds of different gadgets that will also allow him to access different parts of the levels. Now, this might seem like a strange choice for Tails, but I actually think it's a good choice for him. One of Tails' defining characteristics has always been his knack for mechanics, so this game sort of builds a gameplay foundation around that. And I think it does, for the most part, work. This is a game I have played start to finish in the past, and I do have positive memories of it. I do remember some of the level design being a little obtuse, having a hard time figuring out which way was forward. But for the most part, I do remember it being good. Okay, I can't get up there. And all I got are my bombs right now, so where's this go? Wrong button. Well, that just takes me back around. So maybe I gotta go up this way. Ah! I like that Tails can pull himself up if he comes up short. That's a good feature. This walk cycle is a little silly, though. Okay, can't go that way. No. Maybe if I jump. Nope, just get spikes up the butt. And I'm pretty sure I'm back where I started too. I haven't played this since 2016, so I haven't the slightest clue where I'm supposed to go right now. And did I seriously forget to set my timer again? Maybe I have someone else time it for me. Does this rock have anything to do with anything? Stupid ducks. Seriously, where am I supposed to go here? Just want to get down. Ah, for some reason I went higher that time. That's odd. Well, now we're getting somewhere. It is fun blowing up the ducks. Okay, we got some kind of wind there. Hey! Bomb your ass. Can I crawl? No, I can't. I actually didn't want to come back up here, but okay. Ah, crap. A health bar would be nice instead of your life being dictated by rings, which serve as health points here. Now that I have an idea of where I'm going, this might be a little easier. I'm not even sure I landed on the spikes that time. Ah! Controls are just a little bit finicky. Cannonball! Wait a minute. I didn't think I could push the spring. So that's what I was supposed to do. How about that? Oh, I guess I can just jump over it, just not fly over it. I think that's a upgrade down there. Ah! Are you little? Now we're getting somewhere. Oh, it's a Chaos Emerald. Does that give me anything else? No? Okay, so Tails Adventures. Like I said, it might not seem like much from what you've seen here, but this actually does turn out to be a pretty intricate adventure game for the little console. Like, with all the different items and upgrades that Tails can get, it actually does make for a fun little Metroidvania game. And this might sound crazy, but I actually think this might be a better choice for the Game Gear. The recurrent problem we've had with all these Sonic games on the Game Gear is the screen crunch. in a game where you're constantly having to react to everything that's coming at you, having so little screen real estate to actually see what's coming is a really big problem. But that's something that Tales Adventure doesn't have an issue with. It feels more like it was made with the system in mind rather than trying to cram something from the Genesis onto a console it just wasn't supposed to be on. So, yeah, Tales Adventure actually does get a recommendation from me. This is probably the best game on the Game Gear in regards to the Sonic games. But we're not done. There's still a few more Sonic games we gotta play. And I will remember to set my timer for these last two, because I do not want to spend any more time playing them than I have to. And why is that? Because the next game is Sonic Labyrinth. Okay, so entering 1995 and 1996, so that's around the time when Sonic 3D Blast was making the rounds. And these next two games are weirdly connected to it, with Sonic Labyrinth having the gameplay but not the graphics, but the next game having the graphics but not the gameplay. Though Sonic Labyrinth is much, much worse than Sonic 3D Blast, and you'll probably see why as soon as I start playing the game. Lord, give me the strength. I will admit, though, not a bad title screen. The animation of Sonic there is fun. I keep pushing start because that's what I expected to do. Instead, it's one of the face buttons. Alright, let's do this. Labyrinth of the Sky. Okay, so the goal of Sonic Labyrinth is to explore these maze-like levels and find 3 keys, and then go back to the exit. So it's similar in a sense to Sonic 3D Blast. Though, I don't know if you guys have noticed the big difference between the two games, and that's your movement speed. Yeah, this is about as fast as Sonic can go without using the spin dash, which is something you kind of want to avoid doing because you can only move in a straight line and you tend to bounce off stuff with the spin dash, so best not to do that if you can help it. Like, I don't know what Sega was thinking with this. Like, one of the big defining characteristics of Sonic has always been his speed, so why on earth would you take that away from him? And the story reason for it is asinine too. Apparently what happened here is Eggman stole Sonic's shoes in his sleep and replaced them with slow shoes. Then he challenged Sonic to enter his egg labyrinth in order to retrieve the Chaos Emeralds and eventually his shoes. Okay, great, but why didn't you just kill Sonic if you're able to get that close to him, Eggman? Stupid duck robots. I will say this though, the graphics aren't terrible. Sonic looks like he's getting squished, but I mean, he's looked worse. And you do get a decent sense of depth, especially with that checkerboard, and you can use that same trick from Sonic 3D Blast I told you about. But again, the problem here is just how freaking slow it is. I will say this though, that level transition is kind of cool. Though I wonder if that's the same effect they were using for Sonic Drift. Huh. Maybe. 3 acts, that's 3 too many if you ask me. Like, honestly, looking at this, it might not seem too bad, but this is what you do for a good chunk of, for the entirety of the game. It's just extremely mind-numbing. Especially with that movement speed. I know I keep harping on the movement speed, but I just do not understand what they were thinking with it. No, wait, that's the start. Urgh! Crap like that can happen. Sort of flying through these levels, though. Oh, I still got 5 minutes to go. Why is there even a speed indicator on here? Are you trying to convince me through the numbers that I'm actually moving at the speed of sound? How stupid do you think I am? No one in the comments answer that. Okay, I'm not sure what the point of all that was. Now we got a boss. Okay, Eggman, you have Sonic moving slow. And you don't have fast-moving attacks. Now, I'm starting to think that Eggman might not actually be a real doctor. Well, that wasn't so bad. Though still, 4 parts of one zone. Ugh. Oh man, that sounds terrible in a Sonic game, doesn't it? Get him, ball! Okay, remember how I said how helpful the checkerboard was? Well, now we don't have it. And now we're just looking at this ice orb texture. Now I don't have anything to line up used to sights where Sonic's gonna go when I attack an enemy, so... yeah, the game just got worse. And crap like that can happen. Need to get up there somehow. Okay, can't jump off there. No point in going that way, so I'll go this way. I haven't commented on it yet, but that music is awful, isn't it? Not even really music, it's just noise. You little... what are these things anyway? Get out of the way! Here we go. I'm pretty sure that wasn't supposed to happen. Need to find just one more key. Oh, so now I can destroy those things. bouncing all over the place. And I'm essentially out of time now. Alright, let's try this again. Okay, I need to remember that. Please move, Sonic. Why is the key moving around? Thank the lifeson. Okay, so Sonic Labyrinth. Holy crap, is it bad, dude. And you know what? As I was playing it, I was saying to myself, you know what, this isn't that bad. It's pretty easy to play. I mean, it's slow as crap, but... I mean, it's not like it's asking me to do anything difficult, but then I get to this level with its weird bouncing around with the cannons and everything, and that with the annoying enemies, and the fact you can't move fast, and you can't control the spin dash. I mean... It has some good things. The graphics are decent, but... Actually, yeah, that's it. It's just the graphics. That's all there is to it. Sonic Labyrinth, it's not the worst game, but it's top 5 easily worst Sonic game of all time. Alright, one more Sonic game and then I can call it a night. I need to get some sleep. Run button. Sonic Blast. Oh man, that was crunchy. Oh, that emerald actually looks pretty cool. Okay, that's an ugly title screen. The font is fuzzy and Sonic and Knuckles look like crap. Are those the same sprites from Sonic and Knuckles? I got a bad feeling about this. Okay, we're already Sonic a couple of times tonight, so how about we be Knuckles? What is up with that title card? I'm sorry, I just need a moment to process this. Did they seriously make a 2D Sonic game with pre-rendered sprites on the Game Gear? Who thought this was a good idea? That sprite looks awful too. Knuckles' head is just huge in comparison to his feet. And I tried to go into a ball there. It took a second for that to actually take effect. Like, that background is pretty lousy, too. Kinda get the sense that they blew all the processing power on the character sprite. Hey! And now I'm invisible. The acceleration is through the roof, dude. But I still make it to the end of the level. I forgot to set the timer again. Seriously, I just cannot get over the graphics here. They're just... Man. It's like... I'm at a loss for words. Like, why would you think this is a good idea? Even Rare couldn't get this to work on the Game Boy. Why would you try to do this on the Game Gear of all things? Got me again. Ah, not this time. So, if you were to look past the graphics, and I am starting to get used to them, do you at least have a decent side-scroller here? And the answer to that question I would have to say is no. I mean, it's fine. It's still playable, but, like, it just feels really sluggish, and you just can't help but ask, why am I playing this? I keep disappearing, too. What's up with that? Oh, one level down. Let's see what the rest of the game has in store for us. What am I supposed to look for? So, we're out in the desert now, I guess? Wait, are we on Angel Island again? Is that what this is about? I mean, Knuckles is here. Wouldn't surprise me, but... also makes you wonder where Tails is. Honestly, the sand kind of looks like cheese to me. I want to watch Wallace and Gromit. Having fun with the pipes, this is going to get annoying. Screen crunch is still a bitch. They'll make it to the end. I really don't feel like I'm doing anything outside of pushing right on the D-pad. Ah! Now I want to play Indiana Jones' Greatest Adventures again. This level is making me think of the Well of Souls. Did I go backwards? I think I went backwards. My god. Why are there spikes there? How was I supposed to see that? This is some bad level design right here. And the screen crunch is strong with this one. What on earth? What is this? Well, that was mind-numbing. Alright, let's see what Eggman's got for us. Yeah, that music sucks too, now that I take a listen to it. Wait a minute. Wait, is this supposed to be a Journey to the West reference? Yeah, holy crap, it's a Why? Is Eggman watching Dragon Ball or something? Yeah, he's mimicking Son Goku, look at that. Or Sun Wukong, I think that's the name of the character from that story. That's kind of a fun aesthetic. Yeah. Right in the lava. Collecting the rings feels really weird too. Like, you would think that if you just brush up against them, you would collect them. See, look at this right here. Based on that, you'd think I would be collecting them, but it seems you have to hit them dead center in order to collect them. Thank God, my 10 minutes are up. Okay, so Sonic Blast, it's not nearly as bad as Sonic Labyrinth is, and, like, if this was just a regular Sonic game with regular sprites, it would just be another forgettable 2D Sonic game on Game Gear, but the graphics are just so bad. What were they thinking with that? Like, it's, like, with the Sonic Labyrinth, like I said, it has something resembling the gameplay of Sonic 3D Blast, but it doesn't have the pre-rendered sprites. But then they, for some reason, took those pre-rendered sprites and applied them to a 2D Sonic game, and my God, the results are bad. But thankfully, I am done with the Game Gear games. I do not have to play these games again. So, is there anything on the Game Gear with the Sonic games that is worth checking out? And yes, there are. The game based on the first Sonic game, that's actually a decent side-scroller. Sonic Chaos and Sonic Triple Trouble, not bad Sonic games either. Tails Sky Patrol and Tails Adventures actually are kind of fun. But apart from that, not really. Most of the games are mediocre at best, or in the case of Sonic Labyrinth and the Drift games, bad. But even the games that I say are good, they only get a mild recommendation from me. They're really only a curiosity for Sonic fans, I would say. There are much better games in the series you can play than this. But all that being said, I am excited for the next batch of Sonic spin-offs because we got some lesser-known games in the series. We got Knuckles Chaotix, which is a very obscure game in the series. Got some of the weirder initial 3D games like Sonic Fighters and Sonic R. And I'm also going to take a look at the Saturn version of 3D Blast, which I think a lot of people forget even exists. And of course, the cream of the crop, the classic Sonic R. So be sure to join me next time we look at the Sonic games, though that's not what we're going to be looking at next week. I'm probably not going to get to that until the new year. for the rest of the month, I actually got a few holiday games picked out. You know, something that is of the season. So tune in next time to see what I got in mind. You'll probably take a second to realize what I'm getting at, but if you've played the game, you'll probably get it right away. Anyway, if you enjoyed tonight's content, be sure to like and subscribe. I do these videos every week at 8 o'clock. They usually don't run this long. This ran a little bit longer just because I really wanted to get these Game Gear games out of the way. And just because I had to resort to showing his video, please be sure to check out Matt McMuscles stuff, because I feel really bad I had to resort to putting his video in one of mine in order to fill the gap. But anyway, hope you guys have a good night, and I'll see you next time.